Good morning, Park Lane. This morning I'm going to share from the last few verses of the book of Titus, chapter 3 here. Avoid foolish controversies and genealogies and arguments and quarrels about the law, because these are unprofitable and useless. Warn a divisive person once, and then warn him a second time. After that, have nothing to do with him. You may be sure that such a man is warped and sinful. He is self-condemned. As soon as I send Artemas or Tychicus to you, do your best to come to me in Nicopolis, because I have decided to winter there. Do everything you can to help Zenas the lawyer and Apollos on their way, and see that they have everything they need. Our people must learn to devote themselves to doing what is good, in order that they may provide for daily necessities and not live unproductive lives. Everyone with me sends you greetings. Greet those who love us in the faith. Grace be with you all. So I just want to point out a couple of things in this text that I hope are helpful to you in your Christian walk. In verse 9, he talks about genealogies and dates and people that want to argue about what's going to happen in the future and all of these things. Such a great warning. This is what happens when people don't read the Bible, aren't familiar with Scripture, and think that they can predict how things are going to happen. You probably got a mailer this week. I know I got it at my house and at the church for an event in the neighborhood. It had, various world leaders on the front, including the Pope and President Joe Biden. And it's inviting people to a whole week of, informational meetings at a certain church. And it's just really disappointing. It's disappointing that people are going to go to that and be deceived and then argue about different timelines and what's going to happen. And it's disappointing that they even have the money to do that kind of marketing and mailing, because that is a complete waste of time and money. Don't get involved with it. Don't be argumentative. Don't get caught up in these foolish controversies. Verse 10 reminds me of that proverb I shared with you all this summer. Don't wrestle with pigs. The pig likes it. If people are going to be divisive, if people are going to gossip, if people are going to be negative, don't have nothing to do with them. Warn them a couple times and then move on. Be like Elsa from Frozen. Just let it go. God's going to sort everything out in the end, anyways, and God will deal with them. Then Paul writes a few verses about these sort of practical needs and practical greetings. That's what was normal in a letter in his day. You would share these things at the end, and just reminds me of the practical needs. He wants everyone in this church, and he wants everyone in our church to be productive, to go around doing good and adding value to people's lives and serving our neighbors and loving those around us. So he has some instructions for that. And then he ends with three of his favorite words. There are three of my favorite words too: love, faith, and grace. The last note in Titus is one of grace. Perhaps you've heard grace as an acronym, God's riches at Christ's expense, given to us because of what Jesus has done. But grace is at the heart of Paul's message, and it's at the heart of the biblical message. Grace changes everything. The fact that we have been given the promise of heaven, hope for today, because of what Jesus has done on the cross for us. That changes everything. And so that's my blessing to you and my hope for each one of us, that we would live in grace each day, and that grace would be with all of us. So have a great Wednesday, and I will see you soon.